As far as custom campaigns go, there are some very solid 4-map campaigns that have been out for a very long time that they don't get as much love, and they're pretty instrumental campaigns for actually putting new melee weapons in actual Left 4 Dead maps. And back in the day, this was not something that people were doing all the time. Blood Tracks almost feels like a Left 4 Dead 1 inspired campaign at points, with its moody environments and taking place at the harbor, which hasn't actually been tackled in any official Left 4 Dead map to this day. So you're gonna want to stay tuned, baby, because yeah, and definitely I'm going to save the custom melee weapons in the later half of this video, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, the map 1, the harbor section, the set pieces of this campaign include a dark, grimy harbor section with 4 set pieces in industrial complexes that lead to train tracks. But I feel like this campaign's theme really just shows the best of what you can do with the Left 4 Dead 1 style content, as far as this campaign looks a lot like The Sacrifice, Blood Harvest, Death Toll, etc. Now, the beginning of this campaign starts at a seaside view at the crack of dawn, and really it shows a beautiful skybox of the entire level. And you get to see a really just wide open 2D skybox of the sea. It's a really beautiful skybox. It is an excellent choice for this level, and you can see how beautiful it truly is in this shot, especially as the skybox extends all the way to the end of the map. So you essentially have to make your way to the construction zone, and then once you make it out of that area, you'll see that there's actually barges that you'll have to move across and into the interior factory sections of this map. And you'll see that the first panic event is relatively easy in this campaign, but the crane will lift the cargo and it will open up the other side. And once you get there, you will have to follow the tracks and make your way to the safe room. It is a pretty heavy map 1, but the set pieces in the beginning of this map really just set the tone of this entire level, and it really just elevates it quite a bit. And it makes this look like a really good campaign right off the bat. I also like how the custom melee weapons are given right in the beginning of this map too, so you really get to dig into the content that is in this campaign right away. They show this stuff relatively quick, and the melee weapons look amazing. Yeah, I'll talk about them later. They are great. Now, the woods, this section of the map is slightly darker, has a different skybox and lighting textures. Here are my takes. On map 2, you make your way to the safe room, and then after making your way out of the train yard, I like to feel like this area is really similar to Death Toll, because you have to make your way down to the staircase, and you'll also make your way to a large construction facility that gives a lot of Sacrifice vibes, especially with how it's lit and how detailed it is. And then you'll make your way to a wood section, and then you'll see a mixture of Blood Harvest and Swamp Fever. This really just makes it seem like it's really different, as there's a shack that leads to a hillside area, and then you'll see a NPC that is actually a part of this campaign. And this is sort of like the church guy event. These NPCs will not let you pass at all. It's actually a really intense event for this level, as, yeah, I'll play this off here, what they say.
Temper, temper. You want to test us? Then cross the barricade and find out what happens.
So it wouldn't be a custom campaign without an NPC encounter that you can't go past them and shit hits the fan. But ultimately, you have to shoot the gas nearby to blow up the house, which obviously starts the panic event, and then you'll have to drop through the shaft and then make your way into the safe room inside the train car. It's actually a pretty difficult panic event too, if you don't know that. Yeah, you have to shoot the house, and don't shoot it too close to yourself or else you'll die. And I know some people hate on like the voice acting in some of these custom campaigns, but I actually do like the voice acting here. It does the job. And shooting the house is kind of epic, I'm not gonna lie. I've never just done that in a Left 4 Dead map other than this one. Map 3, you make it to the next map, you'll leave the train car and you'll make your way down to the train yard where you can get supplies. And no, I did not yoink this idea from Whispers of Winter. Or maybe I did. An excellent set piece for this map though. I do like the end part of map 2. Now for map 3, this is the rails. And you'll begin to see the next map, you'll exit out of the train car, and then you'll see this big expansive train yard where you can get items, so on and so forth. Now you're probably noticing, wait, why is there a safe room door right in the beginning of the map? It seems kind of fast, but hey, be my guest, check it out. Wait, there's a safe room door? I didn't know they actually came this quick in the map, or that's what she said, but this is really no funny business here, as a lot of people actually fall for this safe room right here. It obviously bursts open and there's a tank. This is a pretty simple fight considering that this area is pretty wide open. And there's actually a lot of Molotovs and vials around that you can probably use at this point. But the whole wall actually now reveals that the survivors have to get to the other side of this tunnel. And then you actually make your way across the train cars and pockets of the walls where you can collect items. And then you can make your way out of the tunnel and notice that there's actually a split path where you can actually choose on going left, where there's going to be more items, or you can choose to go right and just keep going through the map. You eventually head down to an extended train yard, and then eventually you make your way inside these buildings, and then you'll see that there's actually a crosswalk that actually shows a blown off area where you can actually go through, and then you make your way. They did actually do a lot of justice, I think, with the safe room elements in this in this level. It actually makes it kind of difficult. And it's also important not to get lost in this map too, as I tended to get lost pretty quickly. But I do really love this the tank, the random tank that can just come out of the safe room. I actually thought that was a really smart idea. A lot of campaigns started doing this around this time as well. It was becoming a thing where you could program tanks to do this. So yeah, a really epic moment, you could say. I also always died right before the safe room and higher difficulties sometimes, so I feel like this level is pretty easy to get lost in. It is kind of long, but it is what it is. The level begins at a station. You'll have to make your way out of the safe room and then follow the tracks, and then it actually leads up to a ladder that actually takes you to the finale area, which is also a really cramped train yard, and this actually allows for a lot of infected interactions. There's plenty of holes, missing railings, definitely a lot of hijinks that chargers, jockeys, smokers, they're gonna love that stuff. And this can lead to a lot of just interactions in general, especially when there's a tank. So it's very easy to get death charges on this map too. And you'll notice there's a building that actually is from Hard Rain. It sort of has a similar vibe to that in the background. And you also, once you start the event, you'll have to survive 2 waves infected and beat the tanks. The tanks are really deadly on certain parts of this map, as they can easily hit you in one of the holes and then you die. So once the last tank dies, you can actually run to the other side of the track and then get inside the train car just as it arrives. So this is actually a really fun little quirk about the campaign that I really love, that they actually have a script that triggers a cutscene at the very end with the survivors who actually make it. So if just one survivor ends up making it, that one survivor is shown in the car. If all of them make it, then you get the point. I've actually never really seen campaigns do this. It's really interesting twists on the outro cutscenes, because it's really a neat idea that I think a lot of mappers should maybe consider. Now, as far as how iconic the melee weapons are in this game, there's actually 2 custom melee weapons, and they were very early in the campaign. So there's actually a nail spike and a sledgehammer. And these 2 melees actually fit Left 4 Dead's art style really well, and the sledgehammer I probably would have wanted the most out of any melee weapon that could be in Left 4 Dead. It is one of the melee weapons I think would just fit the game so easily. And I think both of these weapons are actually played very well in this campaign, and they actually are a big reason why I think this campaign is such a classic and they fit the vibe. I think the melee weapon is not nearly as strong as I think the sledgehammer does, because the sledgehammer has quite a bit of range, while the nail bat seems to be a little bit more shorter range, but is actually a sharp melee weapon. So keep that in mind though. They're both very solid tools in this campaign, and I think if you want to give this campaign a shot, do it for these melee weapons alone, because I think they're definitely worth a shot. Alright guys, if you guys want to subscribe or whatever you guys want to do, if you guys want more videos, become channel members. I appreciate that. You guys are the best. Hit the subscribe button if you want. I mean, if you want more Left 4 Dead videos, you definitely want to hit subscribe. I do plan on doing a really long Left 4 Dead campaign analysis, so if you're looking forward to that, I'm basically going to be deep diving in every single campaign in one whole video. It's going to be a big one, so thank you guys for watching. Take care. Peace.